feels so good.
Oh my God, it feels so good.
Feels so good.
Oh my God, it feels so good. Feels so good when you treat me like no other, no other. Feels so good when you call me your lover, your lover. Feels so good, one lucky brother, lucky brother. It feels so good, oh yeah, it feels so good.
My name is Nanawe Shamasa. I am from the Nanawe Live YouTube channel, and we are very happy to actually be amongst you.
Thank you, it's great being here.
I usually start these interviews off with light-hearted questions at the top. On our South African screens, whether it's film or television, who is your favorite on-screen villain of all time?
That's a good question.
You can answer now if you've already thought of anybody, but if not, it's fine. You can think about it.
Even if it's a different channel?
Even if it's a different channel.
I've got, I like Rihanna Abrams as a villain.
Yeah.
Who's in the Soapy Islands play. From a perspective of someone who plays has played quite a few villains in my career, it was great seeing how Rihanna encapsulated, this villainous woman. And then you remember generations way back when in Tsiki, the character in Tsiki, for me was probably one of the best villains I've seen on our screens in SA. Yeah.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
and then myself, of course.
Anything.
No, I'm joking.
You do play a great villain though.
I think
You're
I do.
an exceptional villain.
Oh, thank you.
Don't you play one in this?
I do play
Right,
villains.
okay.
Quite a crazy one. Follow my eyes, don't look now. Okay.
If you guys have thought of any, we can also dive into those.
He's such a goody two-shoe. He hates thinking bad about people.
I think Jamie Bartlett.
Jamie,
Yeah.
When he was portraying.
When it was. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I have two. Barker Haynes, played by Robert White, and of course Cheryl de Villiers, played by Michelle Boetes. That's in the earlier seasons of that particular show. I think they were just exceptional. Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. And speaking of villains, when I go to you, so Mr. Mothusi, you actually have mentioned before that sometimes you do gravitate towards antagonists rather characters, but on Unseen we do see you play, Unseen amongst others, but on Unseen we do see you play a character that is not actually a villain, is not a flat out antagonist. When you did mention that you do play these characters or gravitate towards most of them, it's because you mentioned your childhood and your upbringing and the experiences you had. And in us knowing in storytelling, most villains are made by their past and their trauma. That is also what you did mention, that's why you gravitate towards them. With this character that you do play in Unseen, that is the other side, did you draw from anything in the past? Is there anything from your actual childhood or your actual upbringing?
So sorry. Firstly, I don't gravitate toward the characters. It's like the characters people give me. Yeah, I don't know why. And the other thing, Lufuno was most like me compared to a lot of characters I've played recently. So that was I don't want to say easy, but it was comfortable. Portraying the character, relating to Gail's character, it was a lot easier than stabbing people.
And then I'm moving on to you, sir, just with the character you play of Enrico in Unseen. And my question there is, you are very outspoken as a human being about marginalization of people.
Absolutely.
In this show in Unseen, you do play a character that does actually go against a marginalized person within the context of this show. Being Zenzi's landlord, there are times where the character running portrayed is behaving in a very unfair manner, without revealing too much on what happens actually in the show. And my question was, when you find yourself having to play such a character that, in a sense, morally goes against what you believe in,
totally.
how do you approach that, and then specifically in this?
I think I kind of very technically in the knowledge that with any character, obviously we have multiple layers, It's like we could probably call it acting 101, you know, your physical being the external that people see. And then obviously I think what you're asking is the psychology, that emotional landscape that the character comes from. And what made it not easy for me playing this character, I think, was the actual environment. Having grown up on the flats in Manenberg, coming back to a very similar environment, playing a character that in some ways I've encountered in various communities. So the way I see it always is, as an actor and an artist, a practitioner, I simply throw back the mirror at society. Being an actor, playing Enrico, is my social commentary on what is happening out there. And then the question remains to society, what do we do about this? Yeah, I've always approached it like that. It works for me. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's a brilliant answer.
Yeah.
Wow.
You should be.
I was like, oh!
And moving on to you, Shimmy, I just actually have two questions. I'm going to come back to the gentleman, but I have two questions back to back for you.
Oh.
The first one that I actually have is, most people might not know, but you are a Renaissance woman within the world of film. When you write, you produce, you do your own shows. And my question is, being able to wear so many hats on a production,
Yeah.
when you came onto Unseen, when you actually are playing a specific role, you're an actor this time around, what are things sometimes that you find yourself struggling with, maybe letting go of other hats that you're already wearing?
I actually don't struggle with that because I have a very clear understanding of what my position is and what is expected of me. And I think, I've been in the business a long time. I'm quite young, but I've been in the business since I was a teenager. And I think once you can understand what your position is in the game that you play, not everybody can be the manager. We need some packers. I think once you really understand that from a humanity perspective, then it's really easy to find cohesiveness within a team, because I'm a team player, If I can give you an example, for instance, there was one night and it was very late that we were filming. My job in that particular scene was to support my co-star and leading lady Gail. It's not about me, but it is about what is within me and what I can bring and what I can offer. And that is the kind of environment I like to create, whether I'm a producer, writer, or actress, is that I am able to allow people to feel safe and feel supported in whatever capacity. There's a time and place for everything, honey. There was a time for me to act. Done.
Very much.
And I thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I actually have a question, just one last question to everybody, and this question obviously still delves into the craft of acting.
Yeah.
And most people don't know so that you are also a drama teacher.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, all three of you guys are veterans and have been in the industry for quite a while. The question I have specifically for acting though is, what's the one piece of advice you would give to, in general, actors that you find that if maybe this person knew this, and it doesn't have to be a specific person, but a general comment on acting, a philosophy you live by whenever you approach any role?
I'm gonna kick it off. I think for me, I read a lot. I do extensive research, whether I'm doing stand-up comedy, I'm writing that, or I'm writing narrative. I am constantly working on my craft. I think I've gotten to a place that if you think you've made it, then it's time for you to close the curtain and go sleep. Because for me, I'm constantly learning. I try to remain as teachable as possible. I'm learning from young people. I'm learning from older people. I'm learning from babies, because this is what our job is. If you ever get to a point where you think you've made it, then you've actually disconnected from reality. Because storytelling and acting is really about people from all walks of life. So I do it with no judgment.
And sometimes I think once the ego takes over, then you're shooting yourself in the foot as an artist, because you're not allowing stuff to come in. I think some actors, and I see it with a lot of young practitioners, artists, they get so excited by their two first gigs or their first, they're just out of school, they get a cover, and they think that they've arrived. You haven't arrived. That is tomorrow's toilet paper. Seriously. Like, you haven't arrived. It's a constant journey. it doesn't happen overnight. Success doesn't happen overnight. You've got to also, I think, I tell this to young actors all the time, you also have to be a citizen of the world. You got to know what's happening in this world, because whatever happens there right now influences what we ultimately see on our screens. So know what's happening around you. And that I feel the negative and the positive as artists inspires us to want to create and tell stories. It doesn't matter if it's negative or positive. Yeah.
To live is to love is to live. Love what you do.
You can take out the toilet paper reference.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very honest.
Thank you guys.
You should come and have dinner with us. You're like
Yeah,
so awesome.
Yeah, tonight.
Wow. I know we're done, so we can talk to you now. Because I keep doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.